Friends, this is Shraddha. Welcome to my channel called as Early Learners and Right Brainers. Now today I'm going to talk about maths, right brain education and maths. As per the right brain education concept, anything that is related to counting, anything that is related to dots, anything that is related to quantity is a right brain activity. Maths is available in nature, and in nature everything is maths, and everything is about counting, and everything is about quantity. So the human brain understands the quantity from the right brain and not the left brain. So most of the kids are always phobic of maths, including us. So I had my IQ test done, and as per my IQ, my logics and my maths was like 90 on 100. But if you ask my mother, she will say that I was always maths phobic. Even now, like I'm an engineer, but maths paper was like a very dreadful paper for me. I used to always get scared. So maths is like a scary stuff for many kids because the maths is taught to them when they are +5 or +6. So the right brain is diminished and the left brain is active. And for the left brain thinks like, what is this? The left brain doesn't understand the quantities. The left brain doesn't understand something that is absurd, something they find maths a little bit illogical. Now this is very much tricky to say because we have been understanding that maths is logics. Then how come the left brain is not able to process it? Now this is something you have to go and research a lot, but I'm just giving you a brief answer. That right brain says that the visualization or visualizing concept is a mathematical concept. It's like whenever you visualize something, the right brain is more activated, and whenever you are doing maths, your visualizations are more. Like you are visualizing what is this quantity, like this is A or this is B or this is 1 or this is 2 or this is 3. So these things are not these things are doesn't have logic, they are imaginary, and anything that is imaginary is the right brain. So in maths, the imaginary concepts are explained using the left brain, using the formulas and everything. But maths itself is a right brain activity and not the left brain activity. So counting quantities is a right brain activity. So when the kids are exposed to maths at a very young age, they are not phobic of maths and they can perform very well in the exams, is what the expert says, because they have a liking for maths. In spite of doing a lot of right brain activities related to maths, the children are still not going to like maths, and we have to appreciate it and let it be. Because maths, if not in the academic number wise, if your child is good, but there is some way or the other the child is going to demonstrate his mathematical skills. Like example, if your child becomes an architect, that shows that his mathematical right brain is strong. Maybe he will not score good in algebra or geometry, but the child is capable of visualizing space, visualizing concepts like how a building will look from above. So these concepts are nothing but right brain concept. These are nothing but the mathematical concepts. So coming back to the topic, how to teach your child maths. So there are many ways by which you can teach your child maths. Now for most important is the dot cards, what you will expect, but the answer is no from my side. I believe in Japanese concept a lot, and if you just think of Shchida and Heguru, they are from Japan, and in Japan there is something called as origami. Now origami is pure maths. So anything that your child is doing with craft is going to help his right brain develop a good mathematical skill. So he will be good at mathematical life skill. Whether he will be good in maths in school, that totally depends. But in life, if you see, the child is going to always have a good mathematical concept, a good mathematical logical thinking with his right brain. So always expose your child to craft. Origami is a very superb activity. I have personally done it. So the story is that when I had lost my father in 2015, I was extremely upset. And in my office, my colleague, my senior boss, he introduced me to this concept called as origami. So when you do the origami folding, these points are activated and these points are connected to your backbone, your nervous system, and your right brain gets activated. So whenever you are doing the origami, the the foldings are so sharp and they are so neat that the baby or the adult's concentration level is to the par, and it just opens up your right brain and it just soothes you so much that whatsoever depression or upset or sadness you have, it just makes it heal it automatically. It just gives your body immense strength. So when you are doing origami, your mathematical, your logical, your visualization, your neurological patterns just get stronger. This is the first thing. So always introduce your child to craft. Never say no to craft. Second aspect is the dot cards. Now the dot cards, why are we showing dot cards? Now if you see the dot cards, if you observe the dot cards have there are so many dots. So it is the quantity. Is the dot cards only the way to show your child maths? I think no, because you can always show your child 2 cars, 4 cars, or 5 cars. But always, is it feasible to show 1,000 cars to your child or 100 cars to your child? It is not feasible. That's why the concept of dot cards has come. Like you want to convey your child that there are some quantities like 100, 200, 300, but there is no means to convey that. So the dot cards are in place to convey that concept to the child that see, these are the quantities. So these quantities are 100. So if you go and count one by one, they will sum up to 100. But the right brain, when the right brain sees their dot cards, he is able to grasp it that there are so many dots, and the right brain is capable to count them. Now how this counting is possible, it is a right brain feature. But if you go back to the Indian culture or the Asian culture, our grandmothers used to easily understand which ingredient to put less and put more. So anything that is less, anything that is more comes under the mathematical concept. It is the right brain. They never thought, they never analyzed like why should salt be this much only and why not more, or why this ingredient should be less in quantity and not more. They just knew how to do it, like how to use certain ingredients in the kitchen. So this is something that the right brain has intuitively told the grandmother that okay, if you use this ingredient in this amount, this is going to make the dish very tasty. So anything that is intuition is the right brain. Anything comes down to quantity is the intuition. Anything that comes down to counting is also intuition, because you're just counting, like it could be 100, it could be 200. So the child, when he looks at the dot cards, he is intuitively calculating the quantity. He may or may not be wrong. That's the reason why whenever you are testing the child sometimes says the correct answer or sometimes doesn't say the correct answer. And that's why in the most of the right brain educators, they will say that never test the baby, because this is the concept. Because it is like a guesswork. The brain, the right brain, whenever you are showing the quantities, the dot cards, the right brain is just making a guesswork. When you show repeatedly the same number of dot cards, the right brain gets more wired with the left brain and understands, no, this is one dot. Okay, there are only 2 dots, like only 2 circles are there, so these are 2 dots. Only 3 are there, so these are 3 dots. And over the time when you practice it, the brain can automatically understand, okay, now this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. So whenever our grannies used to initially start any activity by adding some salt or adding some ingredient, first time they used to go wrong. Second, third time with practice they used to go right, because their intuitively calculative brain, the right brain, was getting activated. So the same concept is there on the dot cards. So dot cards is like whenever there are so many dots, the child is visualizing, okay, these are this 10 dots, 20 dots, 30 dots. So this is another aspect of teaching maths. third aspect is you can give physically some toys to your child which has which has 5 balls in it, or 7 balls in it, or 10 balls in it. But then there is a limit to all these things. Like physically you can make your child touch them. So by till 20 quantities you can teach your child, but after that it becomes tricky. So that's why the dot cards were introduced. So these are the 3 ways you can definitely teach your child something called as maths. And then you can also involve them in the kitchen. You can if there are some sprouts, you can tell them this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. You can club them, you can mix and match them. See, every ingredient in your kitchen is a mathematical sum for your child. Everything that is in the wardrobe, the clothes, are maths for them. Everything that is in the nature is maths for them. Just try to articulate everything. There are so many examples which I can give, but they will fall short because my creativity and your creativity will not match. But these are some aspects I think that are maths, like a number of bed sheets, number of clothes, number of ingredients, or an apple. If we slice it, the shapes are different. So whatever is shape is also maths. So if a triangle is there, you can show the geometry. You can, if there is a circle, you can say this is a ball, this is a circle. So every day whenever you are giving a toy to your child, it is what? It is maths. So you have to just express, you have to explain to your child how this object is a mathematical object and how this is maths. So nowadays maths is becoming a practical subject. So why is it so? Because even the educators have realized that teaching algebra or teaching geometry, the kids are not able to perform well in maths. Why? Because maths is something very natural, and if you're going to make us understand it via some problems or some testing or some analysis of formulas, they're not going to make sense. But if you give examples like, there is an apple, and if you cut it in pieces, the pieces are different size. So whenever you explain what is the size or what is the shape to your child, the child's right brain is going to perceive it, and the child is going to really work well in his academics too, hopefully, because his right and left brain are going to get merged properly. So these are concepts I personally feel are important to understand maths, and it's very important that you start explaining maths to your child from the day they are born. So anything that you say factually becomes right brain education. When you do all these things with your child, you do it with love. So whatever is with love is right brain education. So that's it from my side, and I really request you guys to please subscribe to my channel, because when you subscribe it really motivates me. It is I think 12 a.m. and tomorrow I have a shift at 6 a.m. So I work for a bank, and I have work from home. I have a child who is 14 months old. So creating a video has become a passion to me. Having a Facebook group of 7,000 people is a passion for me. But even if it is a passion, it is always something I feel should be less priority, because my child is my first priority, then my job. So I just feel that why should I do these videos if nobody is going to watch it? So if you guys want me to motivate me and make me doing more videos, please do subscribe to this channel. Thank you, and bye bye.